So, technically I have 4, right?
4 what?
4 episodes written.
Okay.
I only printed up the 2 because that's all we were planning on today.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
I got motivated yesterday and wrote another 3,000 words.
Nice.
Wanted to keep going, but I found that between 3,000 and 3,500, my fingers start to cramp up. So I was like, I guess I'm not getting any of that done. And also over Labor Day weekend, I went to look for information on this story that we're going to do today. I had most of the information done, but there was something I wanted to find on the Star Herald website, which I don't really go to anymore because they're overly expensive, which really frustrates me because I would like to support local media, but it's too expensive for what you get. So I went to the website. There's big blue banner across the top of the website that it was free for the weekend. And I now have like notes for 50 other stories for our podcast because I was like, I'm here. I'm going to get everything that I can. And I wish it was cheaper than what it is, and I wish that I would also be happy to pay for just a month and get all the articles that I would like. But I have experienced way too many times a month for free, just cancel, and then you cancel, and how many people do you have to go through, and how many hoops do you have to jump through to then cancel? So I'm just like, I'm not doing that.
Remember when you could just mail in your checks, and when you didn't want something anymore, you just stopped mailing the checks, and they kind of got the point.
And they just cut it off.
Yeah,
Yep.
They took the hint pretty well.
Yeah, they're like, hey, you haven't paid. And one time we did have a breach on one of our credit cards, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and I forgot that this one company that I pay $10 a month for subscription have since 1998, and it has not gone up, and I absolutely love this service, which it's for Usenet. And I got like 5 emails in 3 days. Hey, your payment's coming up due, and your card is expired, and I was glad that they reminded me because even though I don't really need that service anymore, I still like it and enjoy it. I don't need it. But I'm like, I've had it since 1998. It's the same thing with my Reddit account. On September 12th, sorry. Depending on what time zone you're in, I will be celebrating my 20th anniversary on Reddit. And so I've thought about deleting that account before, but I'm like, but it's almost old enough to drink.
It's almost old enough.
So anyway, Connor, as you and I were talking earlier about I'm willing to drive someone out of town to get away from it all, have you ever wanted to just get away from it all, away from all the texts, the loudness of the city, the constant din of the BS of modern life?
It's a pretty hard pull in Scottsbluff to say any of that. Like, are we really that modern here? But yeah, no, I get you. I get you.
Yeah. It is not the same as like New York City. This is definitely quieter than New York City, but because I do have PTSD, going in public spaces is pretty difficult for me.
Yeah.
So
But definitely not a big place.
No.
Even if you go down on Broadway, half the time it's empty. It's just, there's nobody there. Maybe 2 people on the whole place.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, when I moved here, it was so hard that everything closed at 6 or 7 at night.
Yep.
The only thing that was open 24/7 was Safeway and Walmart. And I'm like, what am I going to do at a grocery store at 2 a.m. if I don't need groceries? It was so hard to adjust to, and now
I don't even have that. Now everything closes at 10.
Yep.
Which I find that kind of nice personally.
Yeah.
I like that, but I know a lot of other people don't.
Yeah. And when we moved here, the bank that we banked with was in the Albertsons.
Yeah.
Which has been empty for what?
Years.
almost 15 years now.
Yeah.
But they had a bank in there, and they were open on Sundays. And I absolutely loved that because that was like a little piece of New York. And then eventually that bank pulled out of the grocery store. It became, I don't know, something else, and then it closed, and then it's been closed for 15 years now.
Yeah, Albertsons was a great grocery store.
I loved it. I loved it. And it would be awesome now because it's literally 3 blocks from my house. And I could go back to walk-in to get my groceries.
They keep promising they're going to put a grocery store in there again, but I have yet to see the results.
Yeah. I'll believe it when the grocery store opens.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So anyway, here in Scottsbluff, I have found several places that are not far from my house where I've been able to make that happen. It's super quiet. There's not usually anyone around. Some of the places I've gone to, they do allow seasonal hunting. So I always make sure I have a yellow reflective vest that the railroad gave me when I got to ride on the train for special. They were doing they put out a press release that, they're going to, you see it, there's like the not the caboose, the front end. The engine. And 1 or 2 cars behind it, and it just keeps going back and forth all day.
Yeah.
That's the railroad trying to refresh everybody's memories about how you cross railroad tracks and that kind of stuff. So I called them and said, press release is going out that y'all are doing this on Thursday. Can I join you? And so I got to ride on the train.
Cool.
I got some cool earplugs, and they gave me a yellow vest.
I think that'd be pretty neat to be able to ride one of the engines.
Oh, it was awesome. And I got to sit in the back in one of these old-timey cars where there were seats. So it was just an awesome day. But I've kept that yellow vest. And I purposely asked them, can I have a size bigger? And the dude was like, why? And I go, well, because I got my camera backpack on me. And if I put the vest on and then put the camera backpack on, what's the point? Yeah. So he got me a bigger size, and I've been using that for over a decade when I go out hunting. Hiking. Sorry, I don't hunt.
You let it slip. We all know now. We all know the truth.
And that's just because my backpack is also tan, and someone had mentioned to me one time that what I was wearing out hiking blends in too well, and I could be mistaken for an animal. And I'm like, oh yeah, nope, that's not happening. So I make sure.
And hunting season is coming up.
Yeah, and
we're getting into pheasant season. We're getting into all that. So,
yep. Yeah. And the majority of the hiking I do, because the summer is too hot for me, is when the snakes go and hibernate. So it's usually October to April, and there's some kind of hunting through all of that, and I hike where hunters go. So I make sure that I am brightly lit. I used to just wear a plain baseball cap. I have
it's like an orange stocking. That's what I have.
Mine's green, and it's like this super bright green that is not normal in nature hat. And it's like a fishing hat. It's sort of a cross between a fishing hat and a bucket cap. Yeah. And I wear that in my reflective vest. And I've been pretty good so far. Fingers crossed no one ever mistakes me for any kind of animal.
Yeah. It happens. It hasn't happened for a while, but when I was in hunter safety, they were talking about an incident that happened. So.
And I'm also hoping that carrying camera in one hand and the big yellow vest would be, and the hat would be enough, I would hope.
Yeah, well, and when I was a hunter, I guess I was pretty careful.
I think most are.
I mean, and you're right, most are. Most hunters that I know and come across are extremely careful.
Yeah. I would fear the bighorn sheep charging me way more over a hunter. And when Cedar Canyon went on fire a couple of years ago, it was a lightning strike. I went out after it was cleared and opened again, and there was a gentleman out there hunting, and he's walking there with his shotgun, and it's, he has it draped over his arm and it's open. And I'm like, yeah, this dude knows hunter safety. And if he's going to shoot something, he has to close the gun first and then, focus.
You have to do a lot of steps.
Yeah, and hopefully within all those steps, he would know it was me. And when we crossed, he was going in and I was coming out. So, but I had my safety stuff.
Same here. I've had lots of hunting experiences out in Sioux Falls. I would go across hunters all the time. Same thing. Yeah. They were safe.
Yeah.
Never had an incident. Never even had anything close to an incident.
Yeah.
Because most of the times the hunters stay off of the main trails that hikers go on because they're hunters. They know the deer aren't going to be on the trails.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So anyway, one of the places you can go and do both of those around here is Montz Ranch. I have only hiked out there once. I would love to go out again. I just haven't had the opportunity to go again. So we have talked about the Preby lands before on Storytelling on the Plains, because we totally didn't even do an intro. Hey, this is Storytelling on the Plains. We're terrible at that. We're really good at our closing now.
We're getting really good at our closing.
But
we'll get there.
The opening, we suck at that.
Happening.
So here on Storytelling on the Plains, I'm a big advocate of the Preby lands, which is the Platte River Basin environments. And they're basically lands that are maintained by the Preby Trust, Game and Parks. There's a couple of different organizations that help maintain them. And they're basically places where you can go and hike or hunt and, just be respectful when you're out there hiking and hunting. So the Platte River Basin Environments bought the Montz Ranch in 2007 in conjunction with the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission, the Nature Conservancy, and the Nebraska Environmental Trust. So they've got a couple of organizations that help fund maintenance of the area. Like over at Cedar Canyon, I have seen Game and Parks many times throughout the day driving their pickups. And it's mainly just to check on people. Okay, they see 3 cars, and they go and they make sure that, there's 3 people. And if it was 7 o'clock at night, they're going to be out there going, okay, there's a car here, but not a person. Where's the person? Just for safety measures. Some of the walking trails get mowed, but they mainly just check because there is wildlife out there and you don't know what you're going to experience out there. And if you ever go visit the Preby website, it lists all the cool places that's either under their sole care or their joint care. I think all of them are under joint care now, I don't think all of them are under all 4 of these. It might just be 2 or 3, but they're there for you to go out and hike on. So according to their website, Preby was formed by a group of outdoor sportsmen concerned about the potential fragmentation of important wildlife habitats and natural areas in the North Platte River Basin. The challenge and mission accepted by Platte River Basin Environments is to preserve, conserve, enhance, and restore vital wildlife habitat and natural areas within the North Platte River Basin and adjacent drainages. Montz Ranch is also managed for biodiversity conservation and is part of the identified core for the Wildcat Hills Wildlands Initiative. And I'll get to it in a little bit, but it is connected to other Preby lands. So you theoretically could walk from Montz Ranch all the way over to the Wildcat Hills, which is a massive hike. And no, I'm not doing that one. I'll do it in pieces. So Montz Ranch is about 14 miles southwest of Morrill and 3 miles east of the Nebraska-Wyoming border. You can get to it via Steagle Road, which, if you are not familiar with this area, you just need to ask anyone where Steagle Road.
You're right. I was like, I know exactly where Steagle Road is.
My problem would be explaining how to get there. I know how to get there, but I don't think I've ever actually had to tell someone how to get there.
Yeah. I know you can only go 55 because my husband got pulled over on Steagle doing 65. So make sure when you're on there, ladies and gentlemen, go 55.
When you get there, you'll notice that it overlooks the Horse Creek Meadows and what was once bison hunting grounds for the Paleo Indians and Native American tribes for thousands of years. In fact, this area is where 5 Native American trails converge and is of archaeological importance. Many fossils and other artifacts have been found here. And I'll get to this again in a minute when we get to it. But you can literally stand on the edges. Like when you walk into Montz Ranch, and I'm not good with my geological terms, but you need to kind of walk up a hill.
You do, yeah.
To look down into this area that I'm talking about. And it doesn't take a lot to imagine this entire area covered with bison. There is a spot when you enter Montz Ranch. If you look over to your right, there's a bit of hills, and I want to go back because I want to hike all the way to the edge of Montz Ranch and then come back and hike up along that ridge and come down and be done. When I explain what happened to me on this one day, you'll see why I didn't go back and do that. But there's a little. It's a little kind of half circle, not a proper half circle, over there that has berries that grow that aren't native to the area. And the presumption, because there's no way to ever tell, is that the Lakota or the Northern Cheyenne, some tribe, use this area for hunting, and you need to have food, that they brought some berries and planted them so they would have some food while they're sitting here chilling, waiting for the bison to get here.
Sure.
Because you can only bring so much food with you. And this whole area was not settled by any tribe. This was all hunting grounds. So it'd be good if you got to sit and wait for the bison to have some food. And you can only bring so much with you. So,
and these berries are still there?
Yes. Yeah. And again, I didn't get up to that area, so I didn't even get pictures to say, what kind of berries are they?
I mean, good question. Who knows? You'd have to go, because there are many local berries and native berries here that you can eat.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plums that grow out on Smiley Face Road. There's a bunch of choke cherries that grow all along the Wildcats. But there's also buckthorn. You can't eat buckthorn; those are poisonous.
Oh,
you
okay.
Have to eat but the choke cherries and the buckthorn are both black berries. They look the same.
Okay. So, what are the little gooseberries? The little tiny green ones? Yeah. We used to know a lady that lived down in Banner County, and she had wild gooseberry plants that she ended up cultivating. So she got nice little crops of gooseberries every year. So
and we get raspberries and mulberries and all those. One thing we really don't have a lot around here are blueberries. Not that I know of.
I'm still trying to figure out off my back porch there how to do blueberries next year. Yeah. I would love to have some.
They need more acidic soil.
Okay.
So
would it be
tricky.
Would it be a case of I'd have to have them potted?
A lot of the times around here, yeah.
Okay.
They usually don't. They usually don't put them in. And the watering is tricky with them. They do not like our winters, so they're not happy plants.
So just keep going to the store and buying wild blueberries.
Well, and they do have them here. I've seen them being sold, but I haven't seen any blueberry bush around here that's really produced very well.
Okay.
Okay.
And where I grew up in New York, I grew up in the Hudson Valley. We would go just to some random field somewhere, and pick blueberries.
And around here, there's plums. There's a lot of plums around here you can find. You just gotta find them.
Speaking of which, when I went down to Minnetonka and interviewed Val Baker one time, we pulled up. They got plum trees, bushes, whatever they are, and she had me pick some, and I'm like, they don't really 100% look like the plums in the store. But
they're much smaller.
Yeah, much smaller, but they were so tasty. Yeah,
they're delicious.
I go, man, I might just drive past your house later and pull some more down. She's like, well, just do it now.
Well, and there's at least back in Sioux Falls there was wild grapes. I don't know if there's any wild grape species out here. There might be.
Yeah, that would be a hike I would love to do with Jason, since he knows all the different plants. Or even with you,
he's my favorite hiker.
Yeah, because
he really is. Like, that's what we do. We'll hike, and most of the time, our eyes are like on the ground. It's like, oh, here's this. Oh, here's this. Oh, here's this.
And I usually take pictures of things, and then Deline, who I worked with at the Star Herald, I knew she was a master gardener when I worked there. So I would take pictures, and I'd be like, okay, I was out at a hike today at this place. What is this flower? And then sometimes I would just make a blog post, and she would go back and she would comment on it. Irene, that one is this one's this one's this. And I appreciated it because I liked the flower and wanted to know more about it, or the plant. I just don't have that knowledge in me. So that was a neat little resource, and that will come up.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah,
it's going hiking with people that know about nature is just it's the funnest.
Yeah,
because you just learn.
And since I've already been out there once, I would like to go again with someone who knows the plants, so I can ask my silly dumb question. Well, they're not dumb.
No, they're not dumb.
It's just I don't have the information, so I'm going to ask.
And I encourage people to ask, especially like out in the Wildcats.
Yeah.
Go ask these questions, because there are people out there at the wildlife station that can probably give you good answers.
Yeah. So it's the full name of the area is the Montz Ranch Complex, and consists of Montz Ranch and Montz Point Wildlife Management Area, or Montz Point WMA. And if you want to look up Montz, it's Montz, not an S. I tried to enunciate there, but like it's still sounding more like an S.
Z in there, Montz.
Yeah. I've come across several references to its size. See, now I can't pronounce Z in any word. In a 2016 article Steve Frederick wrote for the Star Herald, he said it was about 7,000 acres. In another article, it said 4,800 acres, and the Preview website says 1,400 acres. So somewhere
in between
it's big. So according to the Preview website, the ranch lies on the east side of Stegall Road. It consists of 1,400 acres and is bordered to the east by Montz Point WMA, which includes 900 acres. So 1,400 plus 900 gets you 2,300 acres, which still isn't 7,000.
That's nowhere in the ballpark.
Yeah, it's less than half of the 4,800 that I found. But what I can tell you is it's big, and there's fencing around there, so you know if you're going to accidentally step off and go into private property. Also, if you walk through Montz Ranch, the WMA, there's the Wildlife Management Area, Montz WMA. Then there is Montz Ranch, to Carter Canyon Ranch, to Cedar Canyon WMA, and you can walk all the way through that. I have done the walk with Steve Frederick from Carter Canyon to Cedar Canyon, and it was just over 9 miles, if I remember correctly, one way. And when you cross from Carter Canyon to Cedar Canyon and you start going down the hill, it's a massively steep hill. And when we got to the bottom, we both turned around, and I was thinking, oh God, I can't do that the other way around. And Steve looked at it, he goes, I'm glad we chose this way. And I'm like, yeah, we're both thinking the same thing. It would have been quite an effort to get back up that. But it was an enjoyable hike. So that's just 2 of them is 9 miles. I think it's close to 20 miles. And then you can still keep walking right through into the Wildcat Hills and into, I forget the name of the WMA that's on the other side of the Wildcat Hills. But like if you do the one-way walk, it's something like 35 miles.
Mm-hmm. And is there a trail? Is this all trailed? Or is there a lot of off walking?
They all connect to each other with the exception of when you have to cross the highway. So you could theoretically do it, but you would really need some good maps so you don't accidentally get on private property.
So, I mean, that's what I mean. So there's no trails. There's not not a visible trail to follow. Like in front of you.
No, because even
like a hiking trail.
Yeah.
There's no visible trail. You're basically walking through backcountry.
Yes.
Kind of just hoofing it.
Yes. And even when I started at Carter Canyon with Steve, he had printed or saved the map on his phone because cell signals are spotty to non-existent out there. And I could not take you today. If we went right now out there, I couldn't get you to the entrance to Cedar Canyon. And I don't think he could have if he hadn't taken the map with him because it's just you go this way. And when he was like, oh, we need to go this way, I'm like, why? I wanted to go to the right. That's where my instinct would have taken me. And he's like, no, it's this way. So get a map.
Yeah, it's a very interesting place. Yeah. I haven't been there since I was very young.
Yeah. So they're awesome hikes. They're awesome days out. You aren't going to see anyone. At least at Montz Ranch, the day I was out there, I didn't see another human being, and that was perfectly fine with me. It was great. It was a nice day just to disconnect from everything. So in the late 1880s, Montz Ranch itself was homesteaded as a cattle operation. Part of the ranch's history was noted by others during the time because it was a halfway house for travelers between LaGrange, Wyoming, and Scottsbluff. So not a halfway house like we know today for recovering whatever, but because it literally was halfway between Scottsbluff and LaGrange.
Yeah.
And if you look on a map between Scottsbluff and LaGrange, it goes that's a completely different direction if you're going to be hiking to get there. It's just interesting how all these roads and trails were developed. Bruce Rolls, who was on the Preby board at the time Steve Frederick interviewed him, said that Native American hunters would slaughter thousands of bison during a hunt, and settlers used to sell bison bones found in the area, hauling them to the railroad in Kimball. So also, 40 minutes from Kimball, from out there, roughly around that. The steep sandstone bluffs around the ranch were used as sites for sending smoke signals, announcing the arrival of the bison, which used the meadows to cut through the barrier of the surrounding escarpment and a found reliable source of water in Horse Creek. So Horse Creek's nearby, you got water, you got your berries that you brought by, there's some natural food growing while you're chilling, waiting for the bison to show up.
Yep.
And it just happened that the time I was there, it was the right time of year that the ground just had so many different colors. And it was just because it was, things had been harvested and just the way the sun was hitting the ground, it was just absolutely gorgeous. And I could totally imagine thousands of bison in that area. It's a neat place with a truly unique ecosystem, and you have sage everywhere out there, sandy prairie hills, lots of sandstone escarpments, and natural springs. So it's not surprising that animals and humans gather here. The water has been here consistently for them for thousands of years. It's why up at Agate you found all the unique specimens, because that whole area was a giant watering hole. And so you had remnants of that when the glaciers retreated. You had lots of natural.
Agate's kind of funny because if you go in there, you're just like, yeah, this is a riverbed. It's kind of a duh when you go in there, because like the very top parts of it are completely flat, and then it dips down into like what looks like an old river basin. And so it was a huge river basin.
Yeah, it was.
It was still just, you could tell it was just a river basin, and it just keeps going, almost like a canyon. Yeah,
because it did eventually come all the way down here. And, Scottsbluff was originally underwater, and now it's not. So it's just really beautiful out there. And it's a neat place with I think I could go out there many, many times and just kind of sit and chill out there. I just haven't had the opportunity to get back just because life gets in the way. So I also want to mention Bobcat Canyon, which is within Montz Ranch. So you get out there, you park your car, you walk through Montz Ranch to get to Montz Ranch, WMA. And I didn't know this when I went out there. So I stumbled into it on my hike at Montz Ranch. I had walked easterly, and I had just kept going, and then I wasn't quite sure where I was. But at the beginning of my walk, because this will be important later on, about a quarter of a mile from the parking spot, I came across a snake, and it didn't have a head, and it didn't look like it had been done by a shovel. It looked like the head had been ripped off. Now, was the rest of the body there because a bird dropped it, another animal? I don't know. I couldn't find the head, and I didn't really want to look around because it looked really fresh. Like the blood on the blades of grass were fresh. I'm like, something just killed this, and I don't want to hang around for that to come back because I'm a better meal than that snake. So I just kept on hiking and hiked on in, and hoped that whatever animal was around didn't come back for me. I don't think a rancher did it because, unless it was a rancher that yanks heads off of snakes.
I don't. Not usually.
Yeah, I could hear cows mooing in the distance. They were far enough off that I don't think there was anybody near there. I'm thinking it had to be an animal of some kind of. And ranchers normally use their shovels and just, so.
It could have been a hawk. Could have been anything. Really.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
There's all sorts of
but
smaller
it didn't,
creatures out there that do that.
Yeah.
Possums.
Yeah.
Weasels. Well,
at least if it was a possum and it came back, I might have a chance against a possum. Anything bigger, I don't know. I don't know. I've never gotten in a fight with a possum either, so I don't want to get into that fight. So anyway, I just kept on walking, kept walking east, and I eventually came back because, again, I did not have a map, so I'm like, I just want to I want to enjoy my day and not be stressed out about did I get lost and I've now walked 9 miles in and have to walk 9 miles back. I was trying to limit myself to about 5 miles that day. So I came back and I turned south and climbed a hill, which is where I saw those breathtaking views of the valley below where the bison used to be. And I stood there for a good long while, just imagining what it was like when the bison were here. And it's really not that hard because the land is very much untouched from that time. So you just got to put little imaginary bison down there,
in your mind.
and the fields below are planted now, but still, you can still imagine little bison chilling out down there. And I could sit on the edge of the cliff and look out and imagine. I stood, just because I don't like sitting on the edge of things that could give way under the weight of me.
Good idea.
And plummet 300 feet to my death. So I chose to step back a little bit and just look. And then I eventually went back down because I wanted to go east, but again, I didn't have a map. Paul was the only one that knew I was out there. I already had like 1 bar to no bars on my phone, depending, how many. Take 1 step to the right, now you got no bars.
Yep.
So I'm like, he knows where I'm at. I'm just going to explore this area and not go too far in, because I don't know how to get back out if I go too far in. And there's literally there was a thin trail that led east, and then where I turned south to go look at the overlook, them big round metal containers that are filled with water for the cattle? I can't remember what they're called, but the trail kind of ends there. And I'm like, well, yeah, the trail kind of ends there because the rancher just needs to get to that spot to make sure the water's there. So I went a little further east, but again, it's just open country. I wasn't too sure. And it was early enough in the year. It was like early October. I also wasn't sure after seeing that snake if there were other snakes around. So I tried to just be as safe as possible. So I came back, and I noticed on my way back there was a canyon below me, and I didn't know where it went, what it was, but I'm like, I can go down into the canyon and walk the same distance east and back, and I'll get my 5 miles in, and I won't be really lost. I'll still have my bearings and roughly know where I'm at. So I walked down into the canyon, and the entire time I could hear cows mooing in the distance. I never did see a cow, but I think they were somewhere north of me. So I get down into to this canyon and just keep walking and walking and walking, and it does get you turned around. That I had to stop and think, am I heading east or am I heading north? Because there is no trail.
Yeah.
You have to constantly stop and think about where you're at. And now I'm in a canyon, which is overlaid by a little canopy of trees. So I'm just going, I don't know where I'm. Yeah. And I was just using the trees and bushes as markers. And I really was lost out here, even though I knew roughly the direction where my car was. I was lost. But it was awesome, and I didn't really care. So as I was walking down in the canyon, I passed a small pool of water, which led from a narrow strip of water. So I followed the little narrow strip of water and eventually reached a large metal tub that it wasn't as big as, what is it?
A water trough?
Is it called a trough? Because it was round, and I've always known troughs to be like,
well,
long.
You can be long or round. We still call them troughs.
Okay. So a water trough. Thank you, Connor. I learned something new today. I tried to look it up on Google, and I couldn't even come up with close enough, good enough words to get a picture to be like, yes, that's it. Okay. So it was a smaller water trough that I eventually got to. And I don't know how it was getting full of water, because there was what looked like previously some kind of hose or pump, but it wasn't on. And I'm like, but this thing is staying full and it's still draining.
Was there a windmill?
No, because I'm down in this little canyon. I think
could be gravity fed.
Yeah, it could, and I just couldn't find the original source. So I was like, okay, At least I got a marker here. I got a little water trough. Although at the time I said I got this little cow thingy here. At least I know cows drink water out of it.
I got baptized in a cow thingy.
Really?
I did, yeah.
Wow.
In a cattle trough. Yeah, my church was really small. We didn't have one of those baptismal things built into the place.
Okay.
So you just got out a silver cattle trough from Menards or Baumgars or somewhere, and they filled it up and then baptized me. That's how I got baptized, yeah.
Nice. See, and that's what today's episode really is it's more stories today than just here's a historical thing, because this is basically my story of my day out at Montz Ranch. So I wasn't even tempted to drink the water. I was going, it didn't look good. So I kept walking past it, and eventually the trail just narrowed, and then it felt like it was this giant wall of grass, like 10 feet high, and I took a step in, and then I thought about that snake again. I'm going, yeah, it's probably not a good idea. I'm going to turn around and walk back out. So I walked back out past the little water trough, past the little stream that went down, and it ended at like a small pool of water. It like widened, what's this desk, about 2 feet? Mm-hmm. Yeah, about 2 feet wide by about 4 or 5 feet long, and then it went thin again. And so when I got back to that little pool of water, there were some fresh tracks on the edge of the water in the mud, because those tracks were not there the first time I went by. So I looked, and I didn't see the telltale, dogs, the nails you usually see in the prints, and I didn't see that. So I'm like, it's some kind of cat. So I took a picture, and I did have a signal about 10 feet past that. So I stopped, and I texted Deline, who was working at the Star-Herald. I had the day off. I can tell you it was a Monday because I had to work on Saturday. So I took Monday off. So I texted her, and I was basically like, what are these prints? She texted me back.
Run.
She goes, where are you? And I go, I don't know, somewhere in a canyon on Montz Ranch. She texted back, and she goes, that's Bobcat Canyon, and that's fresh tracks. It's probably watching you. What are you doing out there? Just like, run. I'm just out having a good day. She's like, you need to get out of there. You need to get out of there now. It's probably watching you.
Probably watching you right now.
And I'm like half laughing, because if it's watching me, it's been watching me for a good long while, because I was down in that canyon probably a half an hour.
This is just going right back to the rumors that mountain lions are going to come and attack you and they're dangerous. I have yet to have heard of a mountain lion attack in this county.
Yeah.
In my experience, even up in the Black Hills, and we have more than just mountain lions there. We have other different types of cats. Same thing. Haven't heard nothing.
Yeah.
No attacks ever happened. So
yeah,
I guess there's my 2 cents. I think they're very shy creatures.
Yeah.
Just being able to glimpse one, you're pretty lucky.
Yes.
And so, I mean, I don't think they're gonna come after you.
And I know a gentleman who texted me a picture one day of 3 little bobcats in their little cave. Just their little heads were out. And I'm like, oh my God. And he told me exactly where it was at, and he goes, I will not tell anyone where this is at. And I go, why? And he goes, because I was hiking, and I just randomly, and I know exactly where he was hiking at, and he goes, I saw these little heads pop up, and there were 3 of them, so I got down on my stomach, and I took pictures. And I go, and what happened? And he goes, yeah, it wasn't until I had several photos that I realized Mom's not sitting there with them in their little den. I go,
Right behind you, wasn't she?
So he was laying on his stomach. He started looking, and off to his right, up in a tree, they weren't baby bobcats. It was a mountain lion, and Mom was sitting up in the tree staring right at him.
Go ahead and try to touch that.
Yep.
Dare you.
So
Rip your face off. And that's when you really would have to be worried. Is in that situation where moms and dads, they get very territorial with their when the babies come out. They're not the only animal that do that. Bulls and cows will do that out in the ranch. You can run across a random female cow that'll just go ape crap on you and just be like, "Holy shit, what's wrong with you?" And then you'll see a little calf come by. It's like, oh, they're protected.
There you go. Yep. And he, if I remember correctly, he was about 20 feet away from the babies. So he slowly backed up on his stomach, and then he slowly got up, and he said he walked backwards for about 50, 60 feet until he didn't think Mom would come after him. She was still staring at him, and he said he turned around and he just calmly walked back the way that he came. And he said he never looked back because if she was going to come attack him, she was going to come attack him.
Yeah. And really, as far as I know, and as far as what the Wildcat people told me, all the rangers and everything up there, their food sources are pretty well up here. They don't really have a problem with food sources. There's plenty of deer that walk around and antelope and other things that they get their hands on. So I pause on. But so that's why you don't hear about the attacks. It's the same with the Black Hills.
Yeah.
Their food sources, it's really when they start getting encroached and their food source starts to go away, you got to worry.
Yeah. And he wasn't anywhere near the babies long enough. I think Mom was still trying to size him up. And when he turned and walked away, the threat was gone. So the mom just kind of let him go. But I think this is what Deline was thinking was going to happen to me, that I'm down there in Bobcat Canyon and it's going to attack me because I'm there by myself. And
and that's a good reason for a bobcat to attack you, is when you're by yourself.
Yeah. No. They usually only attack when they feel threatened. And yeah, it probably did watch me the whole time I was down there.
Yeah, they're cats.
Yeah.
Your house cat will do the same thing.
Yes.
Until they're used to you, and then they don't pay attention to you at all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like the one right now. She's just laying there chilling.
Whatever.
She came over, hopped up on my lap just several minutes ago, stared at you for a couple of minutes, and then climbed down and went and laid on the box.
It's you.
Yeah, it's you guys. Yeah, you don't bring her food, so she doesn't want anything to do with you. So, what she said sort of made sense, but didn't make sense, and I didn't panic. It went through my head that if I ran, if it was looking at me, that might give it reason to come after me. So I just slowly sped up my pace till I got out of the canyon. And I also told myself to not do what happens in the movies. If you look back, you die.
You die.
So I just kept going. I kept going. I climbed out of the canyon and found that original path back out to the parking lot, and I passed the headless snake. And once I got to the headless snake, I slowed my pace, because I figured if it was going to come after me, it would have already came after me. I never saw a bobcat or a mountain lion. I didn't see anything. I heard the dang cows. I have no idea where they were. And the reason
probably trying to warn you about the cat.
Yeah, they probably were, and I don't speak cow. And I guess they were from the north, but in that area, the way that the land is shaped, it's hard to tell where the sound is coming from. So
and I'm with you. I think the most thing you should be concerned about going down in those canyons are the snakes.
Yeah.
Like, be aware of where you are, where your legs are, what type of day it is, that kind of stuff. And yes, because that's probably what can really put you in a bind. If you get bit by something poisonous and you have to get yourself out of that situation, yeah, that'd be hard.
Yeah. So
Whereas a bobcat, at least you're gonna lose some calories.
Yeah.
Running your ass out of there.
Yep.
But at least you're going to get out of there fairly fast.
Yeah. And like I tell everybody, I'll just flip my camera over to video mode and y'all can watch my death if it does catch me. But I try not to be a jerk around wild animals. When I was up at Fort Robb, when we get to those Fort Robb stories, I'll tell my great horned owl story. They're huge, way bigger than I thought. But when I took a step too close, it let me get a little close, take a picture, little close, take a picture. And I sat down, took a couple of pictures, and when I got too close, it let me know. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. And then I started to back away. And when I started to back away, it flew away. So,
And I think the bisons are the funniest things around people. I don't know what's with East and West Coast people's morbid fascination with bison.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's just a fluffier cow. That's mean.
Yeah.
like they never, it's all they've ever been to me. It's like, it's just a bigger, meaner cow. And I don't even like going petting cows. Yeah. So I have no interest in going near a buffalo, but you'll see these people, they just like, is it really that fluffy? It's like, don't find out.
Yeah, don't find out.
It's like, when I was at the park, it's like, we have buffalo hides, like, at Coolidge. If you want to pet a buffalo, pet our buffalo hides.
I know at Wildcats, they used to have one out that you could pet as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they didn't want your kids doing something stupid.
Yeah, just feel it.
Petting the fluffy cow. It's like, don't do that.
No. We should have, I actually made a list, and I want to do a story on bison, and we could tell all of our bison stories.
I got so many.
Because I got several as well. And they're all stupid people. So my key takeaway from this day was nobody's out there. So it was silent out there other than the mooing cows. And if you have to walk away from something, don't look back. That's how you live. Don't look back. Don't follow the movie trope. If you look back, you're going to die. So I climbed out of the canyon, got all the way back to my car, and just had an enjoyable day. And that's my story of Montz Ranch. Go hike there, but not in the summer because of the snakes. Because it's all natural land. So
I would say don't hike in the summer just because it's miserable.
Well,
it's
that
hot,
too.
The insects are out.
Yeah.
And then you have the snakes.
And and I've even done the go for a hike at 5:30 in the morning. One, it's 5:30 in the morning, so I get up and go hiking before I even have a shower. Mm-hmm. But by 7 o'clock it's too hot, and I'm crabby and aggravated, and so that treadmill right there. That's what I do in the summer.
Although recently it has been beautiful hiking weather, especially in the morning. It's been so cold.
Yeah,
it's like been almost in the 40s. I think it was 41 last night.
Yeah, This is perfect time to go do some hikes, but I wouldn't do it at Montz Ranch just because of the snakes. I would still wait another month. Unless I was with someone. See, I tend to hike by myself, so although I have hiked up at Fort Robinson in September by myself too.
Yeah, and we only have one species of snake here that's poisonous.
Oh, that's poisonous. Sorry.
Oh, it's poisonous.
Yes, one that's poisonous.
Only one that's poisonous. I don't think cottonmouths get up this far.
No.
People say they've seen them all the time. I've never heard of them. Mm-mm. I've just heard of the prairie rattler.
And the bull snake, but the prairie rattler's the poisonous.
The bull snakes are nasty. They're a little
they're
more
gonna hurt.
aggressive.
Yeah.
It's gonna hurt, but
you won't
most
die.
of the time, bull snake or prairie rattler, they'll do the whole ball up thing. And a rattler, you will hear that. So, so yeah, I mean, just be smart.
Yeah.
Like I said, watch your feet. That's the best thing you can do, which I do naturally because I like the plants.
Yeah.
So I'll try to spot things all the time.
And I tend to be looking up because I'm looking for birds. And I have walked past snakes before that other people are like, how did you just walk past that? And I'm like, because I'm looking up. I'm not looking down. So maybe I should just take you as my look-down person.
I'm one of those
for
people
hiking.
that if I look up, I stop, look up. Make sure I got my bearings there that I look up. And then I'll go and I'll look down again.
But, you can go in the summer or not. Whatever. It's your desire, whether you want to
If you
risk
want,
getting bit by a snake. I don't care.
yeah, but if you want to go there in January, more power to you. I'm probably staying at home.
Okay. I love going
Late
then.
December.
Yeah.
A little too cold for me.
Okay. Okay. See, this is why I end up hiking alone, because nobody likes to go when I want to go.
Oh, and like, that's bitter cold out there in February, January.
Other animals that do live out there on Montz Ranch are elk, mule, white-tailed deer, wild turkey, bobcat, coyote, and bighorn sheep. Again, didn't see any of those when I was out there. There are also golden eagle nests along the cliffs.
Those are pretty.
Yeah.
If you ever get to spot a golden eagle, they're beautiful.
Yeah. Never gotten a picture of one, but I have seen them.
I don't think I've ever got a picture of one because I never have my camera out. It's always when I'm driving and they're just like sitting on something.
Yeah, and then you're like,
just,
really, dude?
Yeah, you're just like aware that what it is because they're so big.
Yeah.
You're just like, whoa, that's a big bird. Oh no, that's an eagle.
Yep.
we have bald eagles here too. I've seen actually quite a few of them recently.
We have. Yeah, this is good time to be seeing them around here. We see them all the time. I've seen them in cornfields after the corn has been harvested for the year. I've seen them up in trees. You know,
a lot by the river.
Yeah, they hang out a lot by the river, which isn't surprising.
You know what I actually saw, and I'm pretty sure I think it was a blue heron.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've been up here too.
It was so pretty. I've never seen one of those out here. At first I thought it was a crane, but it looked a little too weird for a crane. Its body wasn't crane-ish.
Yeah.
Because we, of course, get the sandhill cranes, but not this time of year.
Right.
So, that was really cool to see.
Yeah.
To see a heron.
I've seen a couple of them. I've seen them twice when I was taking Highway 2 east, so up deep in the sandhills. But I did see a couple down here, that big pond on your way to Lake Minnetonka. It's a Meadowlark Hearth is on the other side of the pond, so you can see their barn and their house, and then there's a pond right there by the edge of the highway. That's where I saw
Winter Creek.
Yeah, it's right there near where Rebecca Winter's grave is. Yeah, it's that Winter Creek area.
Winter Creek,
yeah. And I've seen one there. So they do come around here. I know people have said they've seen them up at Lake Alice before, but I have not seen one up there. Just wasn't there on the right day. But wherever you're out seeing all these animals, take pictures of them, leave them alone. They probably won't attack you. Just go. Be careful. Have fun. Hike around.
Wear sunscreen. Bring water.
Yes. Don't steal any fossils or artifacts you see. Don't set any fires.
And tell somebody where you're going before you go, just in case.
Yes.
Just in case. Set the timeline, so just to make sure, because like I said, no cell phone service, so.
Yeah.
That's what my mom would always say anyway.
Yep. And I had a friend who lives in Crawford, was very angry the first time I went up hiking by myself at Fort Robb. When I was done, I went into the museum and was chatting with her. And she doesn't work at the museum anymore, but she was like, how long have you been here? And I'm like, I don't know, like 5 hours. Really? And then I got the mom lecture. So, and she was right. I should have let someone know.
Let someone know.
Yeah. So that's it for Montz Ranch. This was really a storytelling story today.
It was fun, though.
But it was
and
fun.
It is a beautiful place. It really is. Definitely worth the trip.
Absolutely, yes. So we'll be back next time with another fun story. For today, I am Irene.
And I'm Connor.
And this is Storytelling on the Plains.